Hello and welcome to Education TV. In this video, we'll be talking about where BEC and WASI students lose marks in the exams hall. That is to say, the things they do wrong that lead to they losing marks even as they answer questions. By the time we are done with this video, we believe that BEC and WASI candidates will learn some useful lessons, tips, and skills they can adopt to help them do well in their upcoming examinations. Let's go straight into the facts. The first factor that leads to students losing marks or leads to students wasting useful time in the exams hall is that they fail to brainstorm and plan answers. When writing the BEC or WASI or any examination, it is important to think through the answers you intend to write and then jot these points or answers down before you start work. Unfortunately, some students rush into answering questions the moment they are told to start work. And as they approach these questions, they begin to now think, reason, plan, and answer questions. However, if a student spends the first 10 minutes of the total period allotted for the exams into planning the answers to write, he or she has a better chance of performing well and would be able to jot down the points he or she wants to use to answer questions. The second factor that leads to loss of marks and the waste of time during the BEC and WASI is the writing out of the questions. Very often, some students end up recopying the question for the examiner. This is not allowed or it's not the best practice when writing exams. The examiner requires that the candidate writes out only the question number. So if the question number you are attempting is question 5, just write 5 in the space provided for the question and then begin to answer. If the question has sub questions and they are numbered, each time you want to answer them, leave 2 spaces or 2 lines before you write the question number and then you attempt to answer. Do not copy the question fully and do not write the question number by spelling it out and writing it in numbers and put it in bracket. If you do such a thing, you would be delaying yourself and be wasting useful time that could have been used to do other useful things in the exams hall. The next factor that leads to students losing marks in the exams hall is their failure to define clearly or their failure to explain points clearly. Unfortunately, there are students who end up providing pointless definitions that do not contain the kind of information the examiner is looking out for, or it is so long and winding that at the end the candidate is unable to really answer the question. And so master your definitions and your explanations and be clear when you write them out. Another thing candidates do, which leads to loss of marks in the exams hall, is by providing lazy mark gifting answers. What are these? Lazy mark gifting answers are answers that have words between 1 and 9. In instances where the answer carries 4 marks, such an answer containing 1 to 9 words would not lead to the candidate scoring the full mark. And so, candidates must be able to explain their points, expand it, and provide an example to support it. This way, you increase your chances of scoring higher marks for each explanation or answer provided. For instance, if there is a social studies question that demands candidates to explain or outline or list the benefits of natural resources to the economy of Ghana, then a candidate who provides an answer such as this: natural resources of Ghana create employment. And then two, natural resources of Ghana help Ghana to gain foreign exchange. These answers are good, but they are not informative. They don't add additional information of value. And so the examiner cannot award you 4 marks for each of them. Rather, expand it. The answer should contain the key point, an explanation, examples to make it rich enough to help you attain the full marks. So, in the case of foreign exchange, your point could be explained as follows: Ghana earns foreign exchange when she exports natural resources extracted, such as crude oil and gold. The foreign exchange earned is used to develop the country by providing social amenities such as roads, schools, and hospitals. You see, such a point or explanation is so clear and it contains enough information for you to obtain at least 3 points out of the 4 marks allocated. And so candidates should watch how they write their answers. In instances where a candidate is required to provide one word that replaces another word in a comprehension passage, the candidate should ensure that he or she is able to provide a word that can fit into the one provided in the sentence without the sentence losing its original meaning. This means that such a word or a phrase should be fixed or put into the sentence and read out. If it makes grammatical sense and if the comprehension of the line, that is the understanding of the original text, is not lost as a result of the newly introduced word, then it means that the word you have introduced or the phrase you have introduced is perfect enough. Another way students lose marks, especially in English comprehension, has to do with where they're supposed to provide just a word to replace another one or just a phrase. If you provide more than one examples or one word, that is to say, you provide 2 words. If one is correct, one is wrong, you earn the full mark for the correct answer and you lose the full marks for the wrong answer. At the end, you score 0. And so always provide just one phrase or one word that perfectly fits into the sentence and also ensures that you don't lose the meaning of the original comprehension passage you have been given. Now, when explaining answers, do your best to support them with examples. Again, poor handwriting, poor presentation, and improper arrangement of the answers or the facts leads to failure because the examiner wants to understand what you are putting across. If you write poorly, he or she will not be able to read it. Again, if you do a poor presentation, your work is going to be messed up. And again, if you don't arrange the facts in an orderly manner, it will be confusing. And once the examiner is unable to understand what you are putting across, he or she may decide to award you any marks he deems fit since you are not providing the kind of answers that he or she is expecting from you. Finally, never submit your work or your answers or your answer booklet without taking time to check your spellings, your grammar, and units of measurement. Once you read through your work, you would be able to identify some of or many of these errors and take your time to correct them out. If you have to cancel some explanations or words, carefully and cross through with just one line. Do not paint so that just in case the answer you have cancelled is right, the examiner would be able or would be lenient enough to mark your cancelled answer, which is still readable, and award you sun mark. However, if you paint it, you make your work dirty, it, it gives a poor presentation of your work, and you can end up being punished by the examiner for such activities. We hope these tips and ideas provided by Education News Consult on Education TV will go a long way to help you as a candidate excel in your upcoming BEC and WASI. Go out there, practice these, master them, go into the exams hall, and use them to reach your heights. You have what it takes to succeed. Let's go into the exams hall armed with these skills and do a better job. Follow us on YouTube, like our channel so that each time we release new videos, you would be notified. Thank you.